Hello and welcome back to London Cycle Routes. Today I'll be showing you how to cycle from Barnes in southwest London to Hammersmith in West London. This ride takes just 9 minutes and you can do the whole thing on quiet streets and protected cycle lanes. By public transport, the same journey takes over twice as long and requires a long walk, thanks to Hammersmith Bridge being closed to traffic. It is, however, now open to people riding a bike, and we're going to use it today. If you find this video useful, or you just enjoy watching it, then please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as I try to post new videos just like it every week. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to everybody who supports the channel on Patreon. If you're feeling generous and you'd like to contribute as well, then you can find a link in the description below the video. Alright, let's get going. So we're starting on the corner of Ferry Road and Castle now, and we're going to head straight up Castle now in the direction of Hammersmith Bridge. If you haven't been following the saga of Hammersmith Bridge, the short version is that it closed to motor traffic in April 2019 after cracks were found in the pedestal. Apparently it's quite a job to repair it and nobody seems to be able to pay for it, so it's remained closed to cars ever since then. Pedestrians have been able to walk over the bridge, but it hasn't been open to people riding bikes until last week. That's good news for us because it creates an incredibly useful link from this part of southwest London right into Hammersmith, which is also pretty well endowed with cycle infrastructure. This video from Barnes to Hammersmith Broadway is probably the simplest journey that the bridge being open to bikes enables, but it also enables a lot of other journeys around this part of London, some of which you might not expect. I'll be showing those off in the channel over the coming weeks and months, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any. The effects of the bridge being closed aren't limited to the bridge itself. For a start, you might notice that this road that we're on now, Castle now, looks like it could be a very busy road, but there's also pretty much no traffic on it. It's like this most of the time. This video was shot late morning on a Saturday, so not a particularly quiet period. The reason it's so quiet is because we're actually on a peninsula on the River Thames right now, and with the bridge closed, there are actually no through routes for cars here. There's no reason for anybody to drive up here unless they're accessing homes or businesses on the peninsula itself. As a result, the whole thing has turned into a bit of a low traffic neighbourhood. In this direction we had a bus lane, which I think is plenty comfortable considering the very low traffic levels, and in the opposite direction there's a small one protected cycle lane, which is also adequate. We're approaching the bridge now and the signs are a little bit confusing, but take my word for it, you're allowed to cycle up here. It does look a little bit messy, and that's because this is a temporary situation. Nobody knows quite what's going to happen to the bridge in the future, although it doesn't seem like it's going to open to motor traffic again anytime soon. If you're on a bike, then you have the main carriageway of the bridge to yourself. You can see that there's a pretty nice wide bi-directional track in the middle, and then there are these pedestrian walkways running either side of the bridge where you can go on foot. The whole thing is pretty comfortable. If I had any criticism, it's that they've gone a bit overkill with the traffic lights. There are for some reason 3 sets, and they're not always green despite what we saw in this video. Given it's pretty much just a cycle path at the moment, that does seem kind of unnecessary. Now, it's important for me to say, for people watching this video in the future, that this was filmed in late February 2024. If you're coming to this bridge at another point in the future, the situation will almost certainly have changed. So do check before you plan a cycle over here. Although I would say that the whole time that the bridge has been open to people on foot, you have been able to wheel your bike on the pedestrian walkways, so the worst that will happen is that you might have to dismount if the situation does change. Currently, Hammersmith said that this particular situation will last for 10 weeks, so by the summer things will be a little bit different. The impression I get, and their communication on this hasn't been great, is that the bridge will close again to cycles, then they'll do a bit more stabilisation work on it, and then it will reopen again permanently to pedestrians and cycles. In the long term, the council wants to reopen it to traffic, but there is pretty much no prospect of that happening in the foreseeable future. So it will remain a good cycle route throughout, although there may be some disruption where you're required to dismount and walk your bike. As I do more videos over this bridge, I will keep you updated on the latest news about what's happening with it. There are also loads and loads of issues surrounding the closure of this bridge that I haven't discussed in this short video, pretty much because we don't have the time, and I will be talking about all that other stuff in future videos. So do hit subscribe so you can see the routes and we can chat about what you think of the closure. Do let me know in the comments your thoughts on this, on the video, on the bridge itself, and whether you'd like to ever see it open to motor traffic again. There are obviously positives and negatives. There's no bus service over the bridge currently, which is inconvenient for everyone, but then there is also quite a nice cycle route here. So is it swings and roundabouts? Let me know in the comments what you think. Just a short video today, but do give it a like if you enjoyed it so that other people find it, and also hit subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you so much again to all of those of you on the Patreon. You really do help keep the channel going. See you all next time.